goes doing the silicone method of installing a pop-up drain for cultured marble, because sometimes the putty might stain the cultured marble, especially the white cultured marble, and we don't want that, so today I'm going to be using silicone instead. First, we've got our cap, the top portion of the pop-up, and around this we're going to put our silicone all the way around, just building it up nice and thick to make sure everything gets coated here, like so. So I've got the silicone on all the way around here. We're going to insert that into our drain. Then on the bottom, we're going to feed our pop-up assembly. With the pop-up assembly, we're going to want to coat the inner portions of the parts with the silicone also. This way it's got it all on the threads. And as we tighten this up together, everything gets siliconed up real good. In between both sides of the fittings here, applying the silicone, as well as to the top threads here, all the way around the inside here. Then back to our cap that goes up top. We already put silicone around the outside. We're going to put silicone around the inside also. That way when those threads get threaded in, they tighten up against that. So I'm going to insert that portion in the top and put our pop-up assembly up through the hole. And up top, I'm going to rotate this all the way on. Until it's seated nice and strong. Okay, that's about as far as I can go with that. The channel locks. I'm not going to squeeze, I'm just going to kind of hold it to make sure. And I'm rotating the bottom portion. Okay, until that's nice and tight. Now going back down below, what we need to do is make sure that the pop-up rod is facing towards the back. And now we can go ahead and tighten the net up by pulling down and turning it into place. And before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put another bead of silicone around the inside of the top here. Pretty much all the way around. Like so. And now we're ready to tighten this up here. So it's going to squeeze the silicone out of everywhere. And again, this is why you want several layers of gloves. In fact, I'm going to put on more, because this way as it gets onto your gloves, you can just undo a layer if you need to. And it makes cleanup a lot easier. And also when we go to remove the excess silicone, it makes that easier too. Now we're ready to tighten this up. Again, making sure the pop-up is towards the back. And eventually we'll reach a point where we're tight. So I'm going to go ahead and remove a layer of gloves so I don't get the silicone all over my channel locks. And now I can use my channel locks to tighten this down the rest of the way. And this should be done until it's a quarter turn past tight. If you have two pairs of channel locks, you can use one pair to hold the bottom here. There is another way you could take your screwdriver and insert that in here and then use that to hold. Just be careful, because this particular one's made out of plastic, so we don't want to crack it. Okay, now we're nice and tight there. On the bottom, you want to take your gloves and go all the way around and just smooth the silicone in so you got a nice even spread all the way around. And at the top, just take all the excess silicone out of here. It might have squeezed up through the top. Okay. Back at the bottom, gonna put another little bead of silicone just around the bottom thread. And then smooth that in with the glove so that it's nice and even all the way around. Now we can remove the pop-up rod nut in order to allow us to get in there a little bit better behind it. Okay. And now that's all siliconed in. Put my nut back on just loosely so we don't lose it. Okay. And we'll let that all dry. Come back up top. Again, I'm going to remove another layer of gloves. Whoops. Down inside here, we're going to want to smooth in the rest of the excess silicone to get rid of that. We don't want it slowing our drain down. So there we go. And now we can go ahead and remove the blue protective cover here just by getting under it a little bit. Alright, now I'll go ahead and get rid of my gloves. And I'm going to need to take a rag and clean this up, or maybe the gloves. Nope. Take a rag for this one. My finger. Here we go. It might have been a better idea to take off the blue protective film before, that way it doesn't leave any residue down in here, because this stuff is going to be a little tough to get out. But anyway, always learning more. That looks good. So we'll let that dry and come back and put it back together and test it out. Okay, here goes the rest of the pop-up install. I'm going to take the rod and put it down here in the back. Okay. Down in the drain, I'm going to insert the pop-up plug and hold it about here, making sure that the bottom hole is facing towards the back, like so. Then underneath, you're going to take your rod and then slip the back on, and you're going to feel with your other hand the pop-up plug and insert the pop-up rod into the plug so that you're able to move the plug up and down like so. Once you get there, then you're able to thread the nut on, taking care not to get it cross-threaded. Okay, just tighten it down finger tight. Don't want to over tighten it. Next, you're going to take the extension right here, undo the thumb screw enough so that you'll be able to pass the rod down through the two holes, and then you're going to tighten the thumb screw against the rod. And what you're going to do is line up the holes to the back here where you want it to go. And what you want to do up top is just raise the post up to about so, and hold it with one hand. Here is inserting the rod on the clip. And we haven't put the clip on yet, but tighten the thumb screw down first. Okay. Once the thumb screw is nice and snug, now you can take your clip and we're going to push this back and feed one end of the clip on, the other end around. Squeeze them, both of them, and pass it on to the rod. So hopefully you were able to see that there, but anyway, you see we put one end of the clip on, then the rod, then the extension, then the other end of the clip on, like so, just by squeezing it. So now we're able to control our pop-up with the rod here. Now is going to be putting the trap back together. First we're going to slip the slip joint plumbing over the pop-up assembly, and then slip the trap up and over that. Then on the bottom of the trap we're going to lift up and tighten this up here. And we just hand tighten this until it's tight. Okay, now we're nice and tight there. Next we're going to use our slip joint plumbing and tighten this down here. Again, just hand tighten. Tight there. And now we're ready for the leak test. So leak testing the pop-up and the drain line, what we want to do is go ahead and pull the plug, fill the sink up with water, and this way we'll do a pressure test. We'll fill it all the way up, and then we'll pull the plug, and then we'll check for any leaks down below as the weight of the water rushes through the lines. Before we get to that point, we can go ahead and feel all around for any leaks. And so far we're good there. This overflow works as a relief to let the air in, sort of like the old cans used to do when you open a can and you puncture one side and then you puncture the other opposite side so that the contents would flow out easier. It's the same principle here. Okay, water's going down the overflow now. So let's go down here and check it out. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the pop up, and we can do it up top or we can go ahead and release it here. You can hear the water going through. Again, we're checking and feeling for any leaks, any signs of moisture, especially at any of the connections. And everything's nice and dry here. Nice neat pop-up. We can just pull the blue trim cover off here, which just peels off. It's a protective covering. And everything's nice and shiny, brand new. Good to go.